How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and welcome back to our third episode, or is it the fourth episode already? I believe it is. This is the fourth episode of our playthrough of the Fall from Heaven 2 scenario called Fall of Cuantine, I think. Oh, mythical names! How I dread thee. So, at the moment, you're probably familiar with the current situation, but let's just go over it for those of you who aren't. At the moment, we're at war with Hannah the Irin because she has the Octopus Overlord's religion, and basically our religious people don't like them very much because they think the Octopus Overlords are introducing undesirable elements into society. So, yeah, took 2 villages from her so far, split the empire right in half. And we have 2 more to go before we capture the capital. So let's get going. So there are some boarding party members approaching us. Enemies, of course. And let's take a look here and see what options I have. Because now, okay, Razier does have the golden hammer. I wanted to make sure he ended up with it. It was the original plan. Oh yeah, my Larry, the hill giant, has gained a promotion, an additional promotion. So this is level 2. And the interesting question is, what promotion do we go for? Because we already have our mobility promotion. So we could go with something like Combat 1, which would help us in all situations, or we could go with City Raider. I'm personally favoring Combat 1 because it gives you plus 20% strength, and it's applicable to pretty much any scenario you're going to be involved in combat. So let's heal a turn. And then we have an Axeman here. 7 strength. Has it been upgraded to iron weapons? No. Oh, yes, we have. So we do have iron weapons now. I kind of forgot that. You can see here in the city's list of resources, iron is among them. So that does a lot of good for us because 7 versus 5, much better odds, right? Still need to get the Blitz promotion for Razier, though. But let's just run out here and take a look at what our odds are. Got 2 boarding party members there, so we got 3 we want to take care of as soon as possible. And I think once we cross over this hill with the Axeman, all of a sudden we will be able to attack without having to attack across the river. So the odds are much more desirable. Down to 4.2 out of 6 strength. Didn't take too much damage. But I'm just going to look here to see if I have any other Axemen that have decent promotions, and both of these look identical. So toss a coin, what have you. Just decide on one. 88% odds. And we won. So that's always good. And I think I'm gonna run this other Axeman out there along with our first attacking Axeman, and run our Confessor out there as well. Apply the Blessing promotion. And let's take a look here. Do these have the Blessing promotion now? Yes, they do. So they're both 7 strength again. Well, not technically. They're capable of hitting 7 strength. Obviously, the one that's hurt is only 4.9 out of 7. But I believe that's an interesting question. Like, does it increase? If I blast a damaged unit, does it still increase? Like, when it adds additional strength, does it scale up the amount of damage to that strength? Or does it just add 1 strength on top of it? I should take a look into that. Yeah. Upgraded all of those units to iron weapons, and let's get this acolyte going. So this acolyte should be able to spread my religion. Yeah, has the religion of order, so give it a promotion for speed, for mobility, so we can get over to the cities that I captured faster. And let's just wait your turn. I think we'll press on next turn. So I built the acolyte. Let's build 1 more. We have this other city, the city of Dunwich, that I recently captured, that I also need to spread my religion to. Apparently the boarding party has chickened out has decided to go after my hunter instead. So let's just get rid of him. No harm, no foul. And we got more promotions available for the Axemen. Now, one of the disappointing aspects to this scenario, I think, is that even though there are a lot of fun new promotions like plus 40% versus Disciple units, or plus 40% versus Dead, or plus 40% versus Demon, in the vast majority of cases, you just don't run into enough specialized units to justify it. Like maybe you could promote one unit up for that, so that they would be an especially hard counter against those type of units, and then you could stick them in a city or whatever. But in a lot of cases that I've found, it's just better to go with the combat promotions. So you go with Combat 2, Combat 3, Combat 4, just promote them all the way up those ranks, because everything else kind of pales in comparison, which is a little bit unfortunate, I think. Okay. So this is our siege force. Let's get our favorite giant, Larry. I want him to catch up with Razier the Fallen as soon as possible, and then I'm going to be taking a look here at other units that potentially can get an additional movement promotion. So the Confessor does have 2, and so does the Heroes of the Sword Axeman. Does he have? Yeah, he does have a great commander attached. But he still needs the heal. So this is another unit that I want to bring along with Razier because of the movement bonus. And then I think we'll do the same with this Axeman here. So a movement of 2. And I think, wait, okay, go back. Yeah, okay, that one has combat 2, so we're going to promote this Axeman for combat 2 as well. And our catapult has earned a promotion as well, so... But I think Curly is going to be staying behind, or he'll be moving up with the Vanguard. So I hope that I'll have 2 sort of separate forces. One of them will be focusing on speed, and the other one will be focusing on just sort of bringing up all of the strong, like the majority of my army. One will be like a hit and run unit, and the other one will be focusing more on actually taking cities, I guess you could say. At this point, I might just want to start automating my workers. I feel like I'm reaching the end kind of part of the game here. Because, oh, we now have champions available. So let's build a champion once. They should be 8 strength instead of the Axeman, which was only 7 strength even when fully promoted. Is this city unhappy? No. I guess we're good to go then. Yeah, I'm gonna be sticking with building some catapults there. Always good for dealing collateral damage. Let's take a peek at this city here. Quite a few workers in there, but as far as the defenses go, pretty standard. Like the archer is probably the most challenging unit that I would have to face in there. Let's heal Razier the Fallen before I actually head inside. Let's get this Confessor going. How are my other units doing? Yeah, my other shock troops. That one's healed anyway. Both of them are, yeah. There we go. So they can catch up with Razier by the time he finishes healing, and all will be good in the world. Spread order, and it failed. It failed to spread order into a city with one other religion. Why does that have to happen? Because cities can contain up to like 6 religions. How many religions are in this game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 religions, and supposedly the odds to spread new religions decreases with the number of religions that are currently in the city. So just playing it by the numbers, we should have had pretty decent odds that I could actually spread my religion to that city. But sometimes the best laid plans go awry. So I guess I'm just going to have to build another acolyte when I get finished building my champion in my capital. So Larry, the hill giant here, I could have him take up the golden hammer, but I think he's just going to have to skip a turn. I don't want to send him inside the borders in his current state. I think it's ill-advised. We're almost done healing all of these units. One more turn should be good enough, I think. Let's hear. Wake up. Yeah, one more turn. Excellent. We probably don't need quite so many. I'd like to keep a couple of axemen in that city, though, in case... well, actually, I should send the axemen up to Dunwich from Kingsport, because if I am attacked, it's more likely that Hannah is going to attack Dunwich, or the barbarian cities down here to the south are going to attack Dunwich rather than Kingsport. So at the moment, I'm just going to move the hunter into catapult, and then I think I'll move an additional axeman once my archer gets to Kingsport. I'll move one of those axemen over to Dunwich instead. So everybody, have some blessings, and let's enter the borders. Here we go. Turns out we can only move one tile per turn anyway, because that is interesting. I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, I thought my units all had commando, but as it turns out, you know, entering that tile from a tile without a road pretty much negates any benefit that I might be obtaining from having the commando promotion. So let's cross this river. Now, as you can see, commando did come in handy, and we can start bombarding already. So this city doesn't have any walls in it, so it took those defenses down pretty quickly by half already. And the odds are pretty excellent here with Razir the Fallen. Not Razir the Fallen, Razir the Oath Taker. The Fallen is the more proper version of him, but I did take 2% damage from an enemy archer. So that is one of those unique abilities that was introduced in Fall from Heaven 2 that is not present in Beyond the Sword. Artillery might have it in Beyond the Sword, I'm not certain. But that's largely a new ability. So at the moment, we're not fully experiencing a lot of what Fall from Heaven 2 has to offer. At the moment, it seems much more like a graphics mod, but really there's an entire magic system in here. I've sort of pointed out in previous episodes. If you look at the research trees, down here we sort of have a religious tree that you can follow. Then above it is the magical tree that you can follow, and they sort of have their own branches of study. But we haven't really dug into that at all yet. But here are my champions. As I pointed out, they're going to be 8 strength right off the bat. They're going to have a bonus against melee units. So, you know, like axemen, by default, they would have a bonus against sort of their precursors. But let's just promote that for Combat 1. This unit also has the Guardsmen Promotion. I'm not certain how I got access to the Guardsmen Promotion. Is it particular to the champion? Let's take a look. So we're looking at units in alphabetical order. There's the champion. And let's see what the promotions it starts with. It doesn't say they start with any particular promotions. Their main role remains the same, primarily the conquest of enemy cities. They can upgrade into any of 3 or 4 quite different units. So consider your goal when choosing promotions for them. So this might be a civilization-specific promotion. Let's take a look here. Well, my archer has a guardsman promotion. My hunter does not. So, how about this? Yeah. So I think that's a civilization-specific promotion then. I don't know enough about my civilization to say for sure though, but it would appear on the surface that that's the case. Got another archer. Let's get it over to Dunwich. And these are some units that can start moving up, as well as a whole bunch of units here, and probably all of these. It's quite a few axemen. Let's try to spread some order in Dunwich. It succeeded, and I wanted to build another acolyte because we failed to spread order into Kingsport before. Yeah. So walls in 12 turns. And order should be restored to Dunwich next turn. There we go. If, however, we take a look inside Dunwich, you'll notice here that none of my population are actually working the surrounding tiles because they're all too unhappy. So we have a total of, 6 happiness from you know, the base bonuses and then our luxurious resources, but then we have a total of 14 unhappiness. So this results in all 8 of the population of this city just being unhappy and refusing to work. So they're just going to have to starve. Yes, that is how you generally deal with unhappiness in Beyond the Sword, or Civilization 4 in general. It's not particular to Beyond the Sword as a tactic. Looks like we finished a plantation right there. And another one down here by Kingsport. Kingsport is also unhappy. What is up with you, Kingsport? We probably need to build some buildings for them. But at the moment, they're not growing. The city is not growing too fast, so it shouldn't be a problem. As a matter of fact, when we get our religion in there, that should provide enough happiness to sort of placate a few more angry citizens anyway. So let's remove the defenses of Bologna's. Bolans. We're going to go with Bolans. It kind of rolls off the tongue at this point. And the most prominent unit to defend is simply a hunter. A poor wee hunter. What are the odds? 99.9%. What are these units? Oh, okay, these are the Drown. I don't know if you can see them too well because they blend in fairly well with the background of the city. But they're the water walkers. They can actually walk on top of water, so they're not restricted to land only. And I believe these are the units that got the Confessor of my civilization all up in arms against the Lannan. I suppose the civilization's name is the Lannan, but Hannah of Iran, of the Lannan. And these are the abominations. These are the taint that is infesting these cities, according to the Confessor, which happens to be along with us. Right there he is. He doesn't like them. If I can follow the narrative at all, he doesn't like them. We also have some swordsmen defending the city. They don't even have the bronze promotion because I don't think Hannah has any copper. Nope, I took her copper. So apparently she didn't get access to it soon enough, and that means all of our swordsmen are ridiculously underpowered at this point. It's kind of shameful. But we're just going to skip another turn here. Not going to bother risking my confessor on that. He's not a professor. He's a confessor. So finished the acolyte in House Aker, and the question is, what do we need? Should we build that ranger? We already built one champion. Not sure we need another one. We might want to look into a courthouse, but then again, for this city, I'm not sure that's advisable. In general, your capital has very little maintenance costs because, well, it's your capital. So I think we're just going to go ahead and build another champion. Like, when in doubt, something about build champions out, I guess. Got a zealot up there. Well, let's see. Somebody has some promotions coming. Our Heroes of the Sword Axeman has some promotions, or one promotion to be more specific. What should we go for? So apparently this Axeman is well promoted. With a Combat 5 promotion, we don't really have anything else to give him there. So I think we're going for first strike chances next. And Hannah has built an additional swordsman. Now this swordsman is mutated, and it actually got 2 defense promotions. So it has a defense of 6 and an attack of 4, which is somewhat unfortunate for me. But then again, I have pretty decent odds with Razir. But as things would go, that's a pretty good defense relative to, let's say instead the randomized promotions she got were for +2 attack, and the swordsman had 6 attack and 4 defense. That would be much more in my favor because she's not doing any attacking at the moment. So, Heroes of the Sword, pretty decent odds. Let's attack, and there's just a horseman left, so let's send in Larry to take care of that. 99.3%. And there we have the city. So let's keep it, and we'll grab all these other units and just hop inside for a turn or two, at least until the rest of the military actually moves up. Let's select them all. 3 more turns, it's looking like. Let's see here. Okay, a couple of these tiles could actually use improvements. A farm, probably. But then again, maybe a workshop. No, let's do cottage. Let's do a cottage because I think we're running out of happiness in the city. Indeed, we are. 8 of 8. We're currently at our cap. Let's build a cottage so that way we don't introduce more food, and yet we have the ability to grow our economy, which is important, as always. I do like cottages. I think they're a good long-term investment. Unfortunately, this game I do not think will last much longer. So that is always something to, take into consideration when you're building improvements, is how much more time you're going to be playing the game for, how many more turns are left. And then you move on from there. It's one of the areas that I've had difficulty prioritizing in, because oftentimes I just want to build a long-term investments when it's really not a good idea for me. So let's heal there. I don't think the city's in any danger. I don't think Bowlands is in any existential threat, because look at this city. Come on. There's a longbowman, a swordsman, a zealot, and an adept. So apparently Hannah did get access to the longbow technology. So what was she researching to get there? I believe I took a look at it once. Yeah, the bowers technology. It says 54 turns for me at the moment. It's certainly within range. Requires the knowledge of bronze working, but not of iron working. So I most certainly have the required or the prerequisite tech. But even though the length it would take me is like 54 turns. Hey, look. Somebody was spotted here near Dunwich. An archer, lizardman, a couple of axemen. It's a formidable barbarian force. But even though, looking at the longbow tech, it looked like it was going to take around 10 turns to complete it. 54 turns to complete it or so. It would be significantly less once we got my ally here to actually help us research it. So, again, for those who aren't aware of what's sort of going on here, if you picked up in the middle of this entire series, Sabithil is my brother, and he's basically an ally in this game. He doesn't do much of anything. I've asked him to attack cities, and he really doesn't. But he provides moral support, let's say. And he also helps me fairly significantly increase my research times. So that's always a good thing. Why did one of my axemen come running in here? That doesn't make any sense at all. He just ran in there and stopped. There was no... He's not set to go anywhere. He's just in the city. Oh, did he get... I bet he's one of those enraged units. Okay. Trained to catapult. Let's just build a training yard. I bet he got that enraged promotion, didn't he? Crazed. It says randomly grants the enraged promotion. The thing is, I don't see him having the enraged promotion. Maybe he does. Let's take a look at it and see what he does next turn. He might attack and kill himself. Then we will know. No, apparently he's under my control. He is hurt, though. So he might have attacked something randomly. Or maybe I just moved him there and just forgot about it. That's certainly possible. Okay, we got lizardmen here. I don't think we have very good... Oh, 90%. Let's attack. I'll attack at 90% odds, even on a forested hill. I wonder... So there's another lizardman, but we can't get him in one turn. So let's just put the hunter on top of that hill to defend the injured lizardman. And let's pull this axeman out of here if we can. In terms of assaulting this city does have walls. The city of Paradera. And we're going to need to start bombarding. So thank you, Larry. You'll come in handy for that. And the other units can heal. Let's take some blessings. And even Razier is going to have to heal a little bit. Oh, my Brigate Slight Abbey city is unhappy. Why are you unhappy? They don't like the war. Been doing too much fighting, apparently. Keep in mind that when you get war weariness, it will not compound based off of how much you attack the barbarians. The barbarians are free game. The war weariness only builds when you're actually attacking other civilizations. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't worry about fighting the barbarians if you have high war weariness. It has absolutely no effect on your war weariness score. Oh, I heard something die. Says Lonan has been spotted. Okay, well, we'll see what happened a little bit later. Immigrants are requesting sanctuary in the city of Brigat's Light Abbey. Have them outfitted to build a community of their own. I can get one settler. I can get one adept. I can get one axeman, one archer, one hunter, one population, or receive 64 gold. So no matter what I do, I'm going to have to be spending some gold unless I simply accept an additional population. Since I have the gold, let's go ahead and choose a settler. Nothing like another settler. So something died. Something did die, and let's check the log and see what it was. Because a lot of stuff. It says, my axeman was destroyed by a barbarian lizardman. So that was the one that was on top of this hill that I killed something else with last turn. So that's a bit unfortunate, especially given the fact that my reinforcements still haven't arrived. So we did lose an axeman that was fairly well promoted. Not too much of a veteran, but I think he was at least level 2. So I had a little bit of experience on him. It's always a shame to lose some of your better units. 44%. Let's see what the odds are with Razir against the Longbowman. A little bit skeptical about this. Like 97.3. Maybe we should wait another turn. I think we will. Unless, the danger is that he actually pumps out another Longbowman in the interim. But that's just a chance we're going to take. So I got the second settler here, and the question is, well, what do I do with it? And at the moment, I'm just looking at resources here. It seems, well, I can get that access to that fur when the borders of Trinity expands, so that's not an issue there. I have 0 gems, but I'll have access to them in a relatively short amount of time. There's really no impetus for me to research or to settle anywhere in particular. So let's, maybe this was not the best decision after all, to go after this unit. I'm not sure. I guess we just settle down here somewhere. Not overly concerned about it at the moment anyway. Okay, let's try spreading order into Kingsport once again. Ah, we succeeded this time. So Kingsport, they are now happy. And of course, it's set up for growth now because they're happy, which means they're going to be unhappy in one turn. So let's turn growth off. No sense in that. The problem with having unhappy population is you still have to sort of pay maintenance for them. So how the game works, in terms of maintenance, if you take a look here at the economic side of things, you'll notice that there is a thing called civic upkeep. And civic upkeep increases as you have more population in your civilization. So if you're just going to have a bunch of unhappy population in your civilization, they're not going to necessarily produce anything, but they're going to increase your civic upkeep, which makes it largely undesirable to do that. So apparently, the chariot from Hannah the Erin went ahead and killed that remaining lizardman, which I should actually thank her for. But instead, we're going to try to remove the chariot, if at all possible, perhaps with my champion. But we'll have to wait and see next turn how that goes. So how did Larry the Hill Giant take damage? I am curious here. Yeah, because he's damaged now, and I don't think he was damaged before. Maybe I'm misremembering, but he took a fair amount of damage here from something. Well, it doesn't affect his bombard rate, so I'm not concerned about that. Okay, 98.9% odds. Well, let's just finish bringing everything else up, because as I've mentioned before, we cannot afford to lose Razir, the Oath Taker. That will result in an immediate mission fail, so I'm a little reluctant to take unnecessary risks with him. So we'll just wait it out another turn, wait until the reinforcements get here, and work off of that. You might You might notice that there are some rather interesting forests around here. And that's because ancient forests are sort of the natural progression of a regular forest. But you have to have a certain religion, I think, to actually do it. So Brigitte Slight Abbey, let's build another worker there. Ancient forests provide the defense bonus that a normal forest provided in Civilization 4. But you have to have the Fellowship of Leaves religion, I believe, before you'll actually be able to, or before your forests in your civilization have a chance to go ahead and upgrade essentially to an ancient forest. And ancient forests are really super powerful. So unlike a regular forest, an ancient forest, I think, provides an additional food. Let's take a look here. Yeah, 2 food and 2 hammers. So a regular forest is like 2 food and 1 hammer. Okay, it's an additional hammer. Regular forest is 2 food and 1 hammer. Ancient forest is 2, wait, no. 2 food, 3 food. Okay, it is an additional food. The reason it looked like it wasn't was because I was comparing a hill to a grassland or a lowland, whatever you want to call that, the flat, the plains kind of area. Yeah, so it does increase the food by 1, not the production, which is what I thought it was. So an ancient forest is 1 additional food. Okay, 1 more turn. Next turn we should have that city. I'm optimistic. Let's turn research down a little bit more, down to 30%. And let's see if we can finally get rid of this chariot here with my champion. So what should I build? Let's go for a monument. Actually should divert the attention of one of these archers right here. And you're going over to my newly founded city in a couple of turns. Oh, more lizardmen barbarians. It seems we've attracted their attention. So this should be the decisive turn. Let's get to Larry. Bombard those defenses down to 13%. And what have we here? Bombard down to 3%. Still only 1 longbow in that city. So let's promote for collateral. And I'll attack it. So the longbowman itself did not take any damage, but some of the other units did. So 99.5%. That better win. Okay. It won. Excellent. I could sacrifice more units. Maybe I should have. I really wanted to say like 99.9%. I'm not overly confident if it doesn't, as I've said before, because you can lose the match if it's not. If he dies, if Razier dies, he must live. This is not a normal condition. If you're playing the game normally, you can afford to lose heroes and you will not lose the mission. But let's go here. One last attack. So there we have it. We've captured the city. We've captured Paradera. And we have a whole bunch of workers here. Let's keep those, as a matter of fact, to get the rest of my units inside the city. And yeah, we should be closing up, wrapping this story up here pretty shortly. Build walls, build a forge, build whatever. Courthouse at this point was probably advisable. What am I paying in maintenance out of curiosity? City maintenance, 47. Yeah, that's where the bulk of my expenses are coming from. Okay, end turn. Let's see what we got here. It says raise. Oh, raise the city. Oh, I was supposed to raise that city, not capture it. Okay, this does present a bit of a challenge for me. So the question is, how do we get something to come up here and raise the city? Because they'll always attack down here instead. So this is a classic case of me failing to read the instructions, or forgetting about them, basically. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete a whole bunch of stuff here, and we're going to pull everything back. So this makes things a little bit interesting. I'm going to pull everything back, and I'm going to start losing cities to barbarians, I think. Just out of curiosity, we'll see how this goes. See, wait, what was in that city? There was something in that city. Okay, they're my allies units. So we're going to pull everything out of these cities, send them back, and hopefully the barbarians will take them over, and then we can take them back again and we can do the right thing and raise it. So, we'll see how this goes. There's one city down. Hopefully the barbarians are not stupid enough to actually target cities that have a lot of strength. A lot of strong units in them. Probably mistaken there, though. Barbarians have never shown any necessary intelligence in that subject. Another case could be made for Hannah the Erin potentially taking it back. She does have one city left. Yeah, so that's a bit unfortunate, to be honest. I'm just going to try to blitzkrieg through this. We'll see what happens. Just basically play it as quickly as possible. See if we can get the results that I want. If I can't, then maybe we can just reload it. I wanted to reload as few times as possible. But this is one of those conditions where it was like, I'm not paying attention, and then I failed because of that. No, apparently that's not going to happen then. Because here's the problem. My ally is marching around here like an idiot as well, taking out all the barbarians. And how do I stop him from doing that? I don't think there's actually a way to stop him from doing that. So let's just reload. Unfortunately, we have a autosave around here somewhere. What turn is it? It's probably going to be turn 131. So 125 should get us there. Yeah, so here we are back again with the immigrants. We received one settler. Put everything inside the city. This is actually a little bit further back than I think we needed. Okay, let's try another load before we overwrite any of our autosaves. So 129. Yeah, let's try 129 once and see where we are. Are we? Nope, that's too late. Load again. Yeah, so it saves automatically every 4 turns. I should up it to every 1 turn. Because when you have to reload and it's every 4 turns, that's painful. Now I shall sacrifice Razier. 97.3% odds and I win. 99.9% odds. I wonder. 86% odds and 94% odds. We're gonna raise it. There we go. Okay. Now we have our next event. A speaker is brought before you as you watch the destruction of the Lorn's Temple of the Overlords. Your trespass here is unforgivable. This sacred ground rings with echoes of the depths. Your allegiance to evil has sealed your fate, Wallen says. I believe Wallen is the confessor. Fate is ours to twist, and vengeance mine to take. Rise, servants. Decius scans the horizon and shouts to his advisors, look to the horizon. Drowns rise from the depths and head for Cuantine. We cannot get there before them on foot. Razier says, so this is a conversation between Razier and Decius. Razier is the horseman, Decius is my leader. Razier says, the artifacts of these cultists, I have seen them used to travel over the water. We cannot risk the taint these bear, the confessor tells him. Foolish priests, it is worth the risk. You gamble the lives of our people for your own purity's sake. You follow your law then. I will follow my own heart. Razier dons the mask of the speaker and heads towards the waves. Close. So, where is Razier? Out of curiosity, have I lost him? Because I don't see him here anymore. Oh, there he is. So what promotion did he gain? He gained the promotion of water walking. So he can now walk on water. And I don't think he took any damage. He didn't. He didn't take any damage. Okay, so now I can actually walk across the water. Look at that. Look at that. A horse on the water. Nice. Yeah. So, I believe this is... Nope, I don't want to delete the confessor, even if he is a little bit of a pain. Should be pretty much close to the end of this scenario. So, as soon as I can just get to my next turn, everybody wants your attention when you would just want to skip to the next turn. I should press Shift-Enter. But as you can see here, get some more strikes, first strikes. Still didn't get Blitz, still did not get Blitz. I think I have to kill all of the depth walkers or depth crawlers, whatever they're called. Which shouldn't be a problem, there's only one left. So, if I can just center on this unit, fortify there, do whatever, automate. Come on, guys, stop asking me for stuff. These are the times when things get monotonous. Okay, there we go. Killed the last drown, they're called. The priests were wrong, Rosier argued. Rosier, I don't know, what is his name? Is his name Rosier? It's just Rosier sounds too rosy for an evil, dude like him. So I like to call him Rosier instead. The priests were wrong, Rosier argued. I used the forbidden power and am neither tainted nor possessed. I am as much my own man as I ever was, if not more. So here I have an option. I can choose between Rosier. You have broken your vows, submit to the confessor and face trial, or I see no evil here, but you have transgressed the words of a confessor. You will not be welcome here, and I cannot take you in. Now, I'm not exactly sure which way this goes. I kind of like having Rosier on my side, but we'll see. I see no evil here. He seems pretty normal, so let's see what happens after that. I believe there are some more multiple choices that you can make, and this does actually have an impact on the story. It has an impact on the scenarios you'll be able to play along this campaign. So let's see here. Another event. Decius returns home and spends the night feasting and telling tales with the men of his father's holdings. Rosier's parting words haunt him, however, and he retires early. From under his bed comes an inky black snake, hissing and swaying as it crawls up him. Decius tries to grab it, but cannot move, and the snake speaks to him. Noble one, you serve loyally and unquestioningly. How is your service repaid? Such a hard life. Surely such skill and valor as yours should be better rewarded. You deserve wealth and power beyond your station. Is honor such a dear currency to you? Finally, Decius finds his voice. Away! He reaches for the snake, but it slithers away under his bed. Decius reaches for it, finally grasping the thing and strangling it with his bare hands until he awakes to his father's voice. Are you all right, my son? Decius, by God, what are you doing? Decius is on his knees, with his hands wrapped around an octopus-headed idol, which glows faintly in the dark. I had a nightmare. A demon was tempting me, and it looks to me like you gave in. I would have never thought you capable of this blasphemy, but nor would I have suspected Rosier either. We shall leave this for the confessor to determine. I have seen how the order judges, and would ask you to trust your own judgment, trust your own son. I must rather trust my own eyes, Decius. Then I guess I must trust my feet, Lord Commander. Decius swung, smacking his father with the idol. His father staggered back, and Decius rushed past, heading for the stables before the alarm could be given. He was a fugitive, which is almost as bad as a confession. He would have no succor within the Empire, and the Empire's reach was well beyond its borders' forts. Lie northeast and west and south. Well, that is a sentence, that's a mind trip. And the Empire's reach was well beyond its borders' forts, lie north, east, and south. Still don't understand that sentence, but okay, let's continue on. And to the west, lie the Lanen. He almost stopped. He believed in law, in order. He had sworn his life to the unending crusade against evil. 100 times he had risked that life on the field of battle, but he would not die the heretic's death. Reviled and anathemized. Anathemized. That's a word I've not seen. The diviners would not look at his valorous history, nor could they what actually happened. What had actually happened. Oh, I don't know what it is. All of a sudden I'm just not able to make these sentences happen. The diviners would not look at his valorous history, nor could they. What had actually happened? That sentence does not make any sense to me. They would look into his heart and read any doubt as disloyalty. He spurred his horse towards the west. When he arrived in Innsmouth, there was a ship headed across the great sea, carrying spice, furs, and slaves. He was recognized as their enemy, but not, to his luck, as their commander. His horses and the bit of gold he had in her saddlebag brought him one-way passage, no questions asked, or just one question. We go to the desert of Mir, Bannerman. We can let you off with the Caliban, or you can hire a guide to take you to a Malachim city. What is your choice? So here we are presented with a multiple choice decision, and this actually affects whether or not, or it affects which map we play and which side we get to play on. So I will go with the Malachim. I cannot turn my backs on my beliefs, even if the land that I served has wronged me. Among the honest Malachim, perhaps I can find some solace. Or I will go to the Caliban, better to hide where the so-called righteous fear to tread. Among the feared Caliban, I can make my way less encumbered by the laws that have bound me to now. So the choice here is to basically side with evil or side with good. The Malachim are the good, the Caliban are the evil. In the past, I have played as the Caliban, and they're interesting because they have vampire units, whereas the Malachim, I believe, are simply good folks. So in interests of being interesting, I think I'm going to go with the Caliban, because then you will also be introduced to the idea of sort of the evil faction and a lot of the changes that are made between, because if you think about it, the good faction, or the way of order, by and large, what this means is you're going to be playing a game quite similar to what you would experience in the regular Civilization 4 gameplay. Whereas if we go with the evil side, you'll be introduced to more units and more unique mechanical changes in the game, I guess. So I think we're going to go with Caliban. And I think next turn we'll have victory. So let's go ahead. Oh, look at that text. Look at that. That is a lot of events, isn't it? Yeah, so there was a whole bunch of those text things that we got. Apparently they show up as events, so it covered the entirety of the screen with those. Okay, there we go. Decius wins a conquest victory. So we had our trying moments in this campaign. I did lose Razier the Fallen, or Razier the Oath Taker as he's known in this scenario. And I had to reload to get back the city that I mistakenly captured instead of razing. So, to date, those were 2 reloads that I needed to do. Basically, there was no option out of it. Like the second reload, you could make the case where there is the potential that the barbarians could have captured the city back, but I just think it was too far gone at that point. Like I pointed out, I have no control over my ally and where he decides to attack. I can tell him to attack certain cities, but I can't tell him to not mess around with the barbarians. So I think both of those reloads were actually critical at this point. Undesirable, but essential to actually getting through this scenario in a reasonable amount of time. So anyway, I think that pretty much does it for the first, the Fall of Quantine. I think it was the Fall of Cuantine. That was the name of this scenario. Of the Fall from Heaven 2 campaign, or set of scenarios, mod, for Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time. Oh, by the way, right here we can just play a little bit of history and see what happened. It's nice. I don't think they even have this in Civilization 6 yet. Could be wrong about that. The last time I played Civilization 6, they didn't have that. So there we go. Take a look at the demographics. Take a look at the score. Take a look at the Hall of Fame. And exit the main menu. So, yeah. See you next time.